Hi guys, Bill again. A wee bit of regional news for you tonight. A Lads Mag is a particularly British publication. It taps into the same sort of national mindset as saucy postcards and Benny Hill sketches. Yeah, they're filled with stuff, laddish stuff. They're almost infantile in their approach. They do silly stuff like boys' toys and blag rides and tanks and jet planes. They try out extreme sports, they take the piss out of celebrities, and they pretend that professional sport is serious business. Oh yeah, and tits. A lot of tits. A lot of naked flesh. Girls strutting around in not very much of their underwear. So are they porn mags? Well, pornography is well defined under federal law in the United States. Pornography, pictures and or writings of sexual activity intended solely to excite lascivious feelings of a particularly blatant and aberrational kind, such as acts involving children, animals, orgies, and all types of sexual intercourse. The printing, publication, sale and distribution of hardcore pornography is either a felony or a misdemeanour in most states. So, probably not. Not in the US, and certainly not here in the UK, where we have lads' arses and lassies' boobs regularly draped over at least 2-page spreads in our tabloid newspapers. So, maybe they're sexist. You know, they certainly objectify women, but it's hard to see a real difference there between their content and that of female-orientated magazines, you know, especially ones that are aimed at teenage girls. They also have half-naked members of the opposite sex on every other page, and they also feature articles that the opposite sex are likely to see as silly trivia. They push practical and fantasy products that are equivalent to the boys' toys and the race cars. And the added twist is that most teenage girls' magazines deal with sexuality in graphic detail, even although the target audience are likely to be underage. So, the lads' mags probably aren't that sexist, or at least they aren't any more sexist than publications that are available to women, and those publications are often aimed at a much younger audience. So are they in poor taste? Oh yeah, they're in very poor taste. I mean, I wouldn't buy them, that says it all. But there's no law against poor taste. You know, if there was, we wouldn't have anything to read or watch most days, you know what I'm saying? But, guess what? The fun police are trying to get them banned. The Guardian newspaper is spearheading a campaign to ban their sale. Now, the grounds they've got are that they expose employees and customers to pornographic images. I mean, this is just appalling. I mean, think of the humanity. Oh, whoa. Imagine if a poor shop worker, or worse, a young man, imagine one of them should inadvertently happen to be forced to gawp at a nearly naked female body. No less than 11 equal rights lawyers. 11? I wouldn't have thought it was work for one. 11 of these clowns have written to The Guardian expressing their opposition to this horrific possibility. Okay, look, piss taken aside, The Guardian are fronting this bollocks, but the real movers are the feminist groups Feminista and Object. Now, they don't seem to give a toss about Bex getting naked in Cosmo, but they really are more than willing to destroy the careers of scores of glamour models. Now remember, this is from the same organisation that routinely organises slut walks, who are whining long and loud about victim blaming, and they demand that women should be able to wear whatever they want and behave however they like, regardless of the personal risk or the potential consequences. Well, That is, unless those women happen to be making a very lucrative living posing in their smalls for a lads mag. So why the brouhaha? Well, The Guardian will tell you it's because studies show that male sex offenders like viewing pornographic images. Now, quite clearly, porno pics are just a short step away from civilization-threatening savagery. Actually though, the same studies tend to show that female sex offenders, they like sexual imagery too. Now, I don't know if anybody's actually done the research on this, but I'll lay good odds that sex offenders are big fans of breakfast cereal too. The point being that most people like sexual imagery and breakfast cereal. Now, it might be 50 Shades of Grey that does it for you, or it might be Rita Hayworth throwing back her hair. It might be that knowing gleam in George Clooney's eyes, but there's something that we all like. And shaming young men for enjoying looking at beautiful women in lingerie, while simultaneously demanding the right to wear exactly the same kit anytime, any place, anywhere, it's an old feminist tactic. Andrea Dworkin has spent the better part of her life leading the faithful on successive charges against any positive expression of male sexuality or any attempt to cater to that positive expression of male sexuality. She's had any number of bitter failures, and it's led to the abandonment of this attempted censorship by most mainstream feminists. Now, some, notably Nadine Strawson, have actually come out in favour of pornography, mainly on grounds of censorship, but also as a way for true feminists to express their empowerment. Now, the thinking that Dworkin and co are using publicly, they're saying that porn empowers men, it empowers patriarchy, it empowers gender roles and all sorts of other bad things. But I think it actually offers a fascinating look into their mindset. You see, they seem to think that without pornography, all of these things could be controlled by women at a personal level. Now, I love that American term, pussy whipped. You know, it may have been invented to describe the feminist ideal, the end game that Dworkin and McKinnon and their acolytes seem hell-bent on pursuing. The way they see it, sex is a powerful weapon and it can't fall into the wrong hands. So where does that leave us? Well, I don't think they've really thought it through. You see, here in the West, both sexes are free to express their sexuality pretty much any way they like. And in the West, feminism's strong, and it's getting stronger. But in cultures where pornography and naked female flesh is banned completely, feminism is a lot weaker, and it doesn't seem to be making much headway. Now, feminist notions about female sexuality being the personal property of empowered individual females may or may not be on target, but in cultures where that already seems to be the case, it doesn't seem to lead to gender equality. The women in those cultures may have power, but it's not the kind of power that Western feminists recognise, and it's certainly not the kind of power that Western feminists want. Now, this battle, skirmish, it's not one that the fun police are going to win. The Guardian sells around 190,000 copies each month. The two best-selling lads mags both comfortably exceed 240,000 copies per month each, and there's a shelf full of these things. But I think it's a timely reminder of how feminists do think and how they will act given the chance. The way they see it, sex is a female commodity and it's going to be bought, sold and traded solely on feminist terms. Anything less It's misogyny.